What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today I bring you my review of a horror film I just saw called Smile. And holy cow, was I smiling when I walked out of that theater, because this film was amazing. And I'm going to read the quick synopsis here. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she cannot explain. As an overwhelming terror begins to take over her life, she must confront her troubling past in order to survive. So this is what this film is about. This is a woman who's experiencing some kind of terrifying entity that is threatening her life, and she is trying to figure out what's going on and if there's anything she can do to stop it. So that kind of sounds like your typical, we've seen this kind of movie before a million times, right? But the execution was so strong. The horror, the gore, the creep factor, it's unnerving. The timed jump scares, I will talk about jump scares in a minute, but everything was executed so well. The acting was so on point, and everything was done so well that the film was just so entertaining, and I just loved it. I just loved it. I mean, maybe it's not the most original horror movie of all time. It is basically, I mean, it's an original movie. It's not a franchise, which already has got something going for it, because franchise movies this day and age look the F out if you're looking for a good horror movie. Now, Halloween Kills is coming out. We got some things to discuss with that movie. I actually saw the full trailer for the first time. I was trying to avoid it, but here it was before this film today. And I felt like that trailer just gave a little too much away. Like, damn, I think you just gave us the whole movie. But anyway, moving on, because I digress. This movie, Smile, everything was just done very well. From the special effects, which I think a lot of it was practical, just looked so convincing. Like I didn't even think about it. And I'm like, damn, everything looked great. Nothing looked like a computer generated video game crap. Everything looked amazing. The soundtrack was so awesome. It worked with what was happening on screen, timed perfect, and you're going to your heart's just going to hit you hard with some of the way the soundtrack works. The jump scares are effective because they're not a bunch of bullshit fake outs. It's for the most part the real deal, and you don't know when they're happening, and they don't always happen. Sometimes there's this silent moment and you feel like a jump scare's coming, and it doesn't. And then maybe you'll completely forget about it for a little while, and you're just waiting, and boom! You're like, oh my God. So, and it's always something, it's real. It's really something happening. So that's what I like about it. There's not a lot of fake outs, if any. There might have been one I'm forgetting about, but there wasn't a lot of fake out bullshit jump scares. I would compare it to the movie The Ring, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. The Ring, that's like the original concept as far as, you know, when you're infected with some horrible entity, it's going to kill you. You got to figure out how to pass on to the next person type deal. And that's pretty much what's happening here. And it's just really entertaining. Maybe that's why I love The Ring. And when done well, this concept can really just be an amazing film. And it really worked perfectly for me in this movie. And for the most part, it's pretty unpredictable from scene to scene. I would say that you can kind of have an idea where it's going. Obviously, it's not the most unpredictable thing ever. If you're sitting there just trying to predict, you'll probably do a pretty good job. But for me, you know, I just let the movie go. You know, I wasn't trying to think about where it's going. I mean, yeah, you can kind of figure it out, but from scene to scene, you didn't know what was going to happen. You know, new characters show up as she tries to figure out what's going on. Even though sometimes we're ahead of her, we kind of know what's going on. But still, it's still interesting to see her figure it out for herself and everything she's going through. And the whole time, you never know when this entity is going to show up, in what form it's going to show up. And there are moments where it takes us aback. It's like, holy shit, there it is. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, you have to see it to know what I'm talking about, but it's just a really awesome horror movie. Everything works as far as I'm concerned. I mean, maybe not every single last little thing. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but really, from what I was expecting, this exceeded my expectations by a million. So really loved this one. I would highly recommend it. And the only things, I mean, I would perceive as anything close to negative, I guess, There are these, you know, that trope, that typical cliche you see in horror movies where they make stupid decisions. If you're in a horror movie, you make dumb decisions, right? Isn't that the commercial? Something like that. Sometimes she's behaving in a way it's like, what are you doing? That's not the best way to approach that. What are you doing? You're trying to get help. You're just making yourself look crazy. But she's gone through so much trauma. She's so messed up that it's kind of understandable that she's not doing everything in the best possible manner to try to get help and try to get people to kind of have sympathy for her, side with her, or even believe her. And sometimes I think her actions are not the best. Even sometimes she has proof. It's like, just go to somebody, show the proof calmly and collectively instead of acting like a psycho. But it's understandable what she's going through, and you can see it in her face. That's what, it's just amazing. The acting, the makeup, whatever they did to make her, looks like she ages 10 years, which makes sense because of what she's going through. At the beginning, she looks fresh. She's a doctor. She's looks great. By the end, yes, she looks like a mess, and it makes sense all across her face. The actress, she's just phenomenal. She just did a phenomenal job. The other thing, the only complaint I guess I would have, there are at least 2 characters I just kind of disappear. They seem to have an integral role. Something's going to happen with them or be explained, and they just kind of disappear. So, you know, so the movie can proceed. So, I don't know. It's not really a negative. It's just kind of, maybe it's okay. It's just, there was like at least one character where I thought this character was going to be involved in the third act. This character is going to have something to do with the third act big time, and didn't happen. There was another one as well that I didn't know how they would be involved, but I thought some way, somehow they would, but kind of just disappeared. But anyway, I gotta say, this movie was freaking awesome, and I highly recommend go check it out. Smile. This movie is outstanding. So thank you guys for checking out this review. Have a fantastic day. Let me know if you've seen it and what you thought down below. And make sure to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, check out that join button down below if you're interested in helping out the channel on a monthly basis. Ooh, I really appreciate it. We're growing here. We're just getting going, almost at 2,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. We'll talk to you next time.